If you haven't heard Pastor Jim's message from this week, I'd really encourage you to stop this video and go listen to it. You can find a link to it below, or you can listen to it for free on the Meck App. And in it, he establishes a framework for looking at our sexuality and our identity through God's eyes. And as I was reflecting on it, I realized this is something huge that we have to come to terms with before we can look at anything in Christianity. See, the Bible makes this stunning declaration. It declares that there is one God, and that you and I are not him. And before you look at any of God's moral teachings, you have to decide, is that true? And it seems obvious, right? I mean, none of us would claim to be the God of the universe. That would either show our supreme arrogance or deep delusion or something like that. But while we may never claim to be God, I at least often find myself living like I do. For example, I was challenged to reflect on one statement in particular, that I must submit myself to God. And when I first started thinking about that, it's like I had this visceral reaction, no, I'm not gonna submit myself. But then I thought more about it all. And if I am created and God is the creator, if I'm a limited human with a narrow understanding of the intricacies of the cosmos, and God is the all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving being who controls the cosmos and holds the cosmos together, wouldn't it make sense to submit myself to his moral leadership? Wouldn't that be the obvious thing if that were true? And I do submit myself to him, but often only when it agrees with my thinking. For example, I have no problem submitting to God's moral leadership when it comes to things related to lying or stealing or speaking kind words. And while those might be really difficult to practice, and I fail often at them, I don't really disagree with those fundamentally. But what about areas that God speaks to that you or I do disagree with? I don't know if that's what it was like for you, but for many, that's what this past weekend was all about. And I challenge you, like I'm trying to challenge myself, whether about the topic of this weekend or about something else. If you find yourself wanting to reject something related to God, ask, is this because I genuinely believe that God doesn't say this and I've studied the scripture to back it up? Or am I rejecting this because I just don't like that God would actually say this? And then ask, okay, who is God? Is it me or him? And is this an area that I need to submit myself to him? That might be the most difficult question that we could ever ask. And yet, it will lead to the deepest and most profound faith moments in your life.